Good evening, my little nerds and nerdettes. Please join us for another episode of
Dungeon Crawlers! We are back in business,
Dungeon
bitches.
Crawlers.
where I try every evening to kill this entire party. Anyways,
Whatever.
I mean, I didn't fail the last time.
True.
One down. 5 to go.
But the party has made their way to build an outpost where it had been decided that you would head kind of northish to Molten Hammer Keep. The party made their way on the Delirian wasteland side, which seemed to be the less strenuous trek. Running into a couple little hitches, little run-in with the Ditrex, where you were kind of partially hunted for a little bit. Whether it be sound, smell, taste, you're not really sure. But you did happen to come across a kind of like a sand trap of sorts, like an oasis, where you discovered kind of a brutal massacre of sorts, only to rescue one of the individuals who pretty much lost their legs, and anything from the thigh down. To have a conversation to realize this individual was part of a
Notorious cult.
like a cult or a faith, or you're not 100% sure. You do know that what they do is kind of a little on the extreme side. You recovered you got some information, recovered some gear, stole a little cash from them, and then during a series of events, murdered him in the sand and left him to be taken. You
He
finished the rest of
technically
your
murdered himself.
kind
Just,
of.
he at least
He
did
thrust himself
51.
upon the blade.
I
He
mean, the
did
blade was there
51%
though.
of it.
I mean, the blade was held there at his throat. It was pressed against his throat. Technically,
I mean,
you know,
just
it's
just threatening him. He
it's
was
about
the
a
one who
50-50. It's
He was
about
alone,
50-50.
lost in the middle of the desert with no legs. He was a gunner.
Yeah.
I mean,
mean,
The
it doesn't
majority
get much worse than
stakeholder in
that.
You
that
have a knoll that's very strong that could have carried him all the way back. I mean, yeah, he might have leaked the entire way, but each their own. This do-gooder party is not so do-good.
He made his choice.
You made your way to these almost like giant pearly marble gates of sorts that led you to the kind of the beginning of a valley, a very well kept, almost farming valley, where you noticed some large goat type creatures being raised, farming being done, which you get to the end of the valley only to notice kind of like a tram or a rail system of sorts, where it takes you to the top peak of these mountains and leads you down into kind of like a main railroad type pass of sorts, to the giant gates of Molten Hammer Keep. And that's where we left off as you guys are kind of coming down. You guys are cresting the mountain, and as you guys are coming up over the top, you look down to see Molten Hammer, this basically giant city type scape, being suspended. So I don't know how much I explained. I'm trying to remember how much I explained it to you the last time. But Molten Hammer, think of a dreidel, kind of. You know what a dreidel is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Upside down.
You make them out of
all
clay,
over. Yes. Dreidel.
and then you play.
But think of it like an upside down pyramid dreidel type situation. and it's in the center of a volcano. And it's being suspended by platforms, and like it was the entire inside of this volcano was cored out to make this almost black obsidian like giant city that's being suspended in the center of a volcano above lava. And it's, as you guys come over the top, you come down to see this almost like giant stone bridge that leads to the very front gates of Molten Hammer. And you notice like probably like 10 or 12 other tracks. It looks to be kind of like a giant train station as these are coming and going. But as you come up over the side, you come down towards the city. You know, you probably got like another like minute, like a couple minutes before you actually come to the gates fully. Like it's still, you still got a little ways to travel. So anything in the meantime, anything you want to look at, say, you got a couple minutes right now.
Well, I don't know if we have a plan for what we're gonna do here. Any ideas?
I look at Axel, unspeaking.
It's huge. It looks just like the pictures.
As we're riding, he would probably be reading his manuscript, so he wouldn't notice.
Nose to the grindstone, that boy.
Well, I mean, I guess we can check it out. We have to find a place to stay, but be cool to see what kind of market they have here.
Yeah. Maybe we should,
Oh.
I mean, do we want to check out that one place that our friend from the desert told us about? We don't have to, announce our presence per se, but see what's going on there.
Oh, do you mean the third outer ring?
Yeah, yeah.
Nathaniel, who
The,
likes warm beer?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah, that guy.
doesn't like warm beer, rather?
Doesn't like warm beer, yeah.
We could go to Kaz's casino.
Is that here?
Don's touch.
Oh, shit. We could go to the casino.
I was out of character.
Well, yeah, if you were speaking in
About a
character.
meta pigeon.
Casino.
Ginge, on a scale from Balin Outpost to Omira, how big is Molten Hammer?
Molten Hammer's bigger than Omira.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. Not to
So
mention,
off the scale.
not to mention, as you come down and you're getting a view, one thing, like a couple of things that you notice, for those of you that have a decent perception check, the entire outside of this castle city building thing, you see almost like veins running from this like city. You see like these orange red veins that are constantly running off of this city and then down the whole thing and then into the lava below like pipes. And you see lava being siphoned up into the city. And you see constant in all directions going in and out of this thing. You see you see like trains, or these little steam trains that you're riding going in all directions. Some are going into the mountain, like into the volcano itself. Some are shooting off and going up on top of the mountains, like out towards like Sargos direction and Alart's direction, and then over the Hilmira crests. You see him kind of shooting off in all directions, almost like people are either working or going somewhere or traveling or, yeah. So it seems very a word you wouldn't know, but like modernized. It's very, very like, I don't know, high-techy, modernized type deal.
They're running off of geothermal power.
Does the typical house insurance plan in Molten Hammer cover volcano eruptions?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's like getting home insurance in New Orleans.
Yeah, no shit.
They definitely bundle home and auto.
Right?
Well, whatever the
Well, we
plan
could-
is, I'll be keeping a low profile.
Well, we could we could go to the miner's cap. Obviously we don't have a letter to deliver, but we could tell Nathaniel what happened.
Yeah,
Maybe throw a few coins their way. Who knows?
I mean, we could, but I don't know. I mean, judging from Sophia's reaction, I'm not too sure about going in there and just being like, "Hey, we met one of you guys in the desert. He killed himself."
Well, we could provide whatever details we want, right?
I don't
Yeah, I
think those are the
guess.
people that we really want to deal with.
I'm just brainstorming. No idea is a bad idea.
Yeah, except for telling the truth to those guys. That
Well,
seems like it would be a bad idea.
what is truth? Your
I-
boy got mauled in the desert. We saw him. You're waiting on him. He's not going to come here. Oh, I know.
Hmm.
Just the fact.
Well, they were waiting on more than just him.
Yeah,
True.
I don't know. That whole thing seems kind of iffy to me.
I'm not even sure they'd buy the story of a random hole in the desert swallowing them. I'm not sure I'd believe that if I hadn't seen it for myself.
Well, don't those guys like live out there or something?
I guess we don't know what they were doing. I thought they were doing what we were, traveling from one place to another.
Well, we might have gotten more insight into that if we'd held on to the letter, but yeah.
There are people from that group in Dalwar as well.
Wait, really? I didn't know that. How did you know that?
They were around.
Where? I don't think I ever saw anything like that. Would I have ever seen like anything like that?
Like what?
Anything about the cult?
The cleansing flame.
Yeah,
I
cleansing
mean,
flame.
you've heard bits and pieces of them. How
Mhm.
much you know? I mean, I think we had rolled previous and you rolled low on that, whereas
Yeah.
Sophia rolled kind of high. I mean, you've heard bits and pieces, and maybe you heard Sophia rattling off some like facts here and there, but to the extent that Sophia probably dived into it out of curiosity, no.
Mhm. That tracks.
Yeah, it's like how much do you know about David Koresh? He's a weird guy, does some shady shit. That's that.
Shady shitter. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious, but at the same time, maybe not the best idea to poke our noses in that.
It'll be fine.
Best to not stoke the cleansing flame.
Well, we still have a while before we can return to Omira, and we're running out of places we can go. I'd rather not have this turn into Kalar.
Yeah.
Which is why I'll be incognito.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
we
good
still
point. We need a place we can stay a while.
That too.
We can blend in a place like this. It's huge.
Yeah, but like, how many people here aren't dwarves?
A good chunk.
Oh,
You know Molten Hammer. I mean, you guys know Molten Hammer is kind of a melting pot, a little bit as well. Like people do come here.
Yeah.
It is a yeah, right. No pun intended. It's kind of it's known for its like ore mining and like weaponry. Like weapons that come out of Molten Hammer are considered like top fucking tier.
that's some top shelf shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the forge that what's his name? Tyrion. Peter Dinklage worked in.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage.
The fuck?
Peter Dinklage, Peter
I haven't
Dinklage.
heard this shit.
What do you mean? Have you not
What do
heard
you
that?
mean? Open in your.
I hate this.
Open your-
Open in your.
Oh my god. We're just waffling yet again. The cable car crashes and we all die.
This is gonna ruin the theme song.
You're welcome.
Holy shit.
Peter Dinklage.
Bot, get in this channel.
Yeah, come on, bot.
Clean the shit out of your ears and get in this channel.
I don't know how to.
What are the
I give up.
what's the commands for this bitch?
It doesn't have commands. It's supposed to just listen to me.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
What?
Are you listening to it now?
Unfortunately.
It's so good. It's stuck with you forever now.
Wait, which one?
I would probably be so enamored with this crazy dwarven city that I would just kind of be wondering. Like, you know, you like bump into things because you're like looking up,
Mm-hmm.
looking around. You're just kind of bumping into things.
Like first time in Times Square.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else then? So as you guys come down and you land in this train station, you guys exit. Everybody kind of exits. And here you stand at these giant like bastion wall / giant gate in this like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are coming and going on this big giant almost road that leads into Molten Hammer. And you see stationed guards on both sides, and on top of the wall you see several of them standing up there as well.
I got nothing. Help me, Ricky Bobby.
Je ne sais pas. 몰라요.
I will stop paying attention to the bot now because it's distracting me and pulling my attention away from D&D, and that's no fun. I've got it up and running. I just don't know how to remotely tell it to join the channel.
That
Mhm.
What was
something
that?
something just blinged.
Oh, we're doing watch
Oh,
together.
oh.
What's up?
Oh, watch together. Join the activity.
But
Where the fuck is
you
everyone?
guys are standing in front of the Molten Hammer, the giant gates. You guys can enter or do whatever you want.
No, let's turn around and go back. Yeah, I'm entering.
Yeah. So one big thing as you get off Axel and you kind of like walk over towards the edge and you look over this for you it would be about chest height, maybe a little bit lower. You kind of look over the edge and it's like thousands of feet down and it's just lava. Like opens up into an open volcano and the heat immediately hits you. So it's a long ways down over this like bridge area.
Sophia quickly checks your book to make sure Featherfall is prepared.
I don't think that's gonna help you. It's just gonna be a long time before you die.
Yeah, but Featherfall can give us more time to figure out our other options. Because you fall
know.
slower.
Fair enough.
Is it like warm in here? How's the ventilation?
Out here right now, it's pretty warm. But you're not sure inside of the city? Not sure?
Well, let's find out.
Yes. So you begin to make your way towards the front giant gates. Seems to be no anything about you entering or leaving. They just kind of they just look at you as you pass. One thing that you do notice. Batman.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, don't mind me.
What the hell?
The hell?
What the heck?
Oh, my Lord.
Where is my notes?
Open the
moved-
gate.
I haven't moved shit around too, so that like.
Hold the door.
All right, yeah. As you walk, the dwarfs that you see are heavily armored, like deep plate mail, to the point where you barely see like the slits of their eyes beneath the plate mail. You just kind of see like the scruff of beards that pop out the bottom, and then like maybe out the back you see like hair that's pulled into like a ponytail sometimes that kind of seems to come out the back side of the helmet as well.
So, Ginge, the ride we took wasn't even into, like, this. We haven't, like, entered.
No.
Damn.
Yeah, it brings you down to like a main almost like train station. There seems to be inside some that shoot out and come or like go all over the place, but there's the ones that you ride in seem to be almost like an initial, like for people that are visitors or travelers type deal. Like you still have to like enter through the gates. But you notice they are wearing these deep reds and purple, like plate mail, and they have almost like these mohawk, like fanned tops to their helmets that are deep red, like horsetails almost. Another thing that you guys notice is there are some that they're carrying a one-handed axe strapped to their waist, or hammer, whatever they prefer. A very tall, almost as tall as them, and about as wide as them, a like giant, and they kind of hit like off to their sides, a giant like heater, like a giant shield.
Heater shield.
And in their right hand, they have a staff. The weird thing about the staff that you notice as you walk by is it's like a pole arm that has like a giant like a pike. It has a axe on one side of it and a hammer on the back side of it. But instead of at the very top, where usually like a sharp point would be. Oh.
A fuck.
Oh.
Okay. Where like a sharp point would be, like a spear. It comes to like a circle, like an opening at the very top, like a cylindrical.
Mm.
And as you glance quickly as you walk by, there seems to be towards the bottom where he's kind of holding his hand, about another 2 feet down from that, you see what seems to be almost like a lever or contraption.
Intéressant.
It's working.
Oh, you guys can hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It work!
Holy
Yeah.
shit, the bot works.
So, as you walk through the gate, the moment you get to the threshold of the gate itself, you kind of all of a sudden see a shimmer about a foot in front of you. Do you continue walking?
This is on the ground?
Like the whole thing. It's like a wall.
Oh. I don't like that. Yeah. I guess
Just keep
so.
walking.
What,
Okay.
what choice do we have?
You- Well, Sophia walks first. Nothing happens. Sophia, what you notice, two things. One, you feel almost like you're getting searched, like a pat down. And then two, kind of like a Walmart in the summer, you immediately get hit with a very cool breeze. Like almost like like the air conditioners when you walk in through like a Walmart door in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. You just get like an instant cool breeze. Like the temperature drops from like 96 to like a cool 68.
Nice.
Hell yeah. They
Oh,
got
that's
AC up in this bitch.
That feels good.
Hey.
Don't worry, it just keeps the heat out.
So as each of you walk, as each of you walk through, you feel like you almost got patted down, like searched. And then you feel like this cool breeze instantly hits you. And then you do notice about 100 feet to your right, an individual that walks through. You see him stop in the doorway and just stops there. And you watch as one of the guards walks up, begins cuffing him, and starts walking him back to the city, and he starts like screaming.
Oh. So he was coming out, or
Mhm.
he was about to come out past us, and he gets stopped by the wall, and they cuff him.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
And you
But
see him you see him take him. You see them take him like off to the side, and they begin doing like a search.
Part him and cough.
Did the shimmer wall like physically stop him, or they just grabbed him as he walked through it?
You're not sure.
We didn't see him cross it.
Yeah, you didn't see him cross it. You saw him walk into it and then stop.
Back. All right, noted.
Does any of us have any issues going through?
I'm gonna
there?
walk through.
None. All
go
of you
ahead.
pass through without issue, and immediately are greeted with a steady 68 degrees, and I wouldn't say loud.
Vince, we all know the thermostat is set to 69 degrees.
Always.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I wouldn't say like loud, but like a busy city. You walk through and you can instantly hear people moving around, people selling, people going, and as you walk through, you see like rail. God dang it, not railroad, but like.
Like monorail.
Probably.
Thank you. Like monorail type stuff, like all over the place. Like they're running up and out and over and like around, and you see one that's on the ground, like 300 feet in front of you, that just seems to like go in a
fucking
circle. Like it just like it looks like it's a whatever, and then you look up and you see, people are riding around on those giant goat creatures. You see people, you see people pulling carts with what look to be automatons. Like steam-powered automatons. You also see people riding kind of like those little speeder bikes, but they look to be outfitted in kind of a different manner.
Oh, I thought Halo was cool.
Do we get any sense of oppression? Does anybody look
I don't know.
oppressed?
You just got here. You walk in, and at first glance, they don't look oppressed. They just don't, people look busy. And you guys right now, you wouldn't know. I mean, you would get just from what you have heard and been told, but you are on the. You were on the first ring.
Yep.
And then you don't know what they're called, but you do know like it goes down.
Like the
Meaning
rings
that,
go
like,
in.
Hmm.
So if we're in the first ring, as we go further interior, we'll get to like the second ring and the third ring.
No.
Or we go down towards the volcano.
Down. So it sits like an upside down pyramid. You guys are on the uppermost. You're in the first ring, is what it's called. And then as you go down, it's another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one at the very bottom,
Another one.
and another one.
So are we gonna look for a market? See what we can find?
I think it'd be neat to see what they have here.
Wonder if I can get one of those robots.
How much coin do you have?
Yeah, probably not enough.
I mean, patience.
That
I
will
don't know
tell me
how much
fine.
coin you have, but I'm sure it's not enough. Those things
Probably
look
right.
expensive.
For what?
But they're so cool.
An automaton?
Hmm.
I mean, you'd have a better
Nice.
chance stealing one.
You put some padding on that bitch, it'd be the perfect sparring partner.
It's a fresh
A
cut grass
robot?
cameo.
Yeah.
Cameo.
Yeah.
It's made of metal.
Yeah, that's why I said you put padding on it.
How do you know so much about the robots?
I don't know. It'd be fun to fight one.
Is it magic?
You're asking me? I don't
Oh,
fucking know.
It looks like some kind of machinery.
Somebody smarter than me made one of those things.
you and me both.
Nah. I bet if you studied hard enough, you could make one.
It'd be really nice to have as something you travel with. Maybe a good bodyguard. Or
Maybe you could
an
carry our
extra line of
stuff.
defense. Yeah! Now we need to figure out if we can afford one.
Step 1, get a robot. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit.
Step 4, ride the robot.
Yes. Get in the fucking robot, Nova.
Season
Nice!
1, to ride a dinosaur.
No,
Season 2,
no,
to ride a robot.
It was a dragon. I wanted to ride a dragon. I'm channeling Freya. I mean, you know, sit on its shoulders. Just have it carry you around everywhere.
How to train your robot.
Awful.
Ginge, you said the automaton went by in like a cart? Somebody pulling a cart?
It was like holding a cart, following somebody.
Oh, okay. I would like to go up to the individual that it's following.
Yep. It is a itch. It is a dwarven female who has a long beard braided into a thin strip at the chin with like a bunch of jewelry.
Pardon me?
You speak Dwarven?
No, but I don't have to. I'm gonna mind link with her.
Okay.
Remember, we don't have to share a common language.
Mm-hmm.
He's
But
3.
you're
I'll
also
I'll
invading
send
somebody's you're invading somebody's mind against their will. So go ahead.
No,
see
I'm
what
not
happens.
invading. I'm just having a conversation.
Mhm.
Oh. No, I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm
It's
not
like when you enter someone's house unwelcomed and you're like, I'm not invading, I just want to talk.
exactly.
It's totally fine. Totally
Thank
fine.
you. I'm glad somebody else sees it from my side.
No consequences will ever
No.
come from this.
So when she starts talking to me in a language I don't understand, I'm gonna mind link with her and say, "Good day,"
Her eyes kind of go wide.
and then I'll smile and wave at her.
She like nods.
I apologize. I'm not familiar with your language, so this is the only way I know to speak with you otherwise. And
Just
she would get this. She would get the sense that she can respond to me.
And does whatever she says, you get the gist of it?
No, I completely understand. Here, I'll send you a screenshot.
Okay.
Mind link. 1 second.
What do you
Mind
want?
link. So when you're trying to mind link telepathically with a creature, where's ability to telepathically? Give me the creature mistake. Where is it? I was just reading this to you on last week, and now I need to find it again. Features.
But she doesn't answer back to you, and asks you, "What do you want?"
Oh, there you go. You speak telepathically to a creature you see within 50 feet. You don't need to share a language with the creature or for it to understand, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language.
Okay.
Okay, so she doesn't respond to me.
She does.
So what does she?
And she
so-
asks you, "What do you want?"
I'm just curious about that machine that is following you. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm just curious if there's things like that for sale around here.
It is a automaton. And they are for sale.
Do you know about how much they cost?
Depends on what you want. Basic models can run about 300 or 400 gold.
Really?
And you can specialize it.
Where would I, if I wanted to procure one, where would I go to buy one?
You could try on the first ring, the sprockets, or if you don't have enough coin, you could try gears, widgets, and oil.
Well, thank you. You've been incredibly helpful. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. And she like kind of hurries along and like stares at you out of the corner of her eye.
I'm gonna grin and wave at her. And then I'm gonna kind of skip back to the group.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like we could buy one if we really wanted to. It costs about 300 to 400 gold for a base model. But I guess there's a couple different places that we could check if we really wanted to.
300 to 400 gold?
Yeah. That seems reasonable.
I could learn multiple spells with that amount of gold.
It is kind of. Well, you were right. I definitely don't have enough for that.
Well, it seems reasonable for what it is.
We'd have to find some jobs first.
Yeah, maybe we'll think on that one.
Bid book.
Maybe we could, like, borrow one for half the cost or something.
As interesting as they are, what do you plan on doing with it?
I don't know. Don't you just want to have a machine thing that follows you around?
Yeah.
You don't have to have something for it to do. I just think having a machine.
I want to know how it works.
The price of knowledge, Sophia. Sometimes
Axel
it costs
kind
money.
of ignores the rest of you as you guys watch as Axel kind of like head up, looking away from the rest of the group, begins to kind of just like take off walking.
I'll just
Um,
I'll unconsciously follow him.
What you do notice is, as far as you can tell, Axel, at first glance, everything is commercial. And all of the buildings here so far that you can see are shops. And those that don't have shops have some kind of tent set up outside.
I'll just be following him.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes. Telling no one what he's doing.
Has he been here before?
I don't know. We have to ask him.
I didn't think he'd ever been here. But he acts like he knows the place. If we lose him, we'll never find him again here.
That or he's just following his nose to... I don't know. Who knows where. Probably food.
I read that dogs can hear 10,000 times, smell 10,000 times more than the average person. You think he can smell that well?
That is a good question. I did not know that. Where'd you learn that?
Some book.
Man, maybe I should learn to read.
Let's catch up. We'll never find him again. The place is huge.
Yeah. All right. Let's follow the furball.
After walking for a little bit, Axel, a couple of things that you pick up. The first ring is completely commercial and businesses and like work type stuff. Businesses, commercial, merchant type stuff. All the inns and bars are on the first ring.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense. All the businesses and traveler lodgings are in the first ring, where the entrances to the city are. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. Sorry. All of the businesses, all of the like work type businesses, all of the traveler type stuff, inns, bars, everything. So far as much as you can tell, first ring.
Okay.
Do we spot any inns as we're traveling?
Yeah.
I'd probably just point out the first one we come across.
Okay.
That looks like an inn.
So as you walk, you do notice there's a couple that are out there, and just kind of like asking around, you get the information that there's 4 of them. There's the Miner's Cap, there's Drake's Wing, the Caravan's Pass, and, of course, Dawn's Touch.
Dawn's Touch.
Is this like
Good old Dawn.
DAWN or DON?
For which
That's a very important distinction.
That is a good question.
For Dawn's Touch, is this DAWN or DON?
DAWN.
Okay. So we're not worried about Dawn touching us. It's just morning light. Gotcha.
Unless it's the woman named Dawn.
Sure.
Fair-
Oh,
fair
shit.
Enough.
Good.
But you know, there's the 4, they're bars / inns, and then there's a mixture of just regular, just like dive bars.
Hey, thanks for the raid. Welcome in.
Welcome, Raiders.
Great to have you in. Appreciate it. Just got inside Molten Hammer Keep.
Annyeonghaseyo. Welcome.
Thanks for coming. But what you do realize is there's a bunch of dive bars. There is about 4 bars / inns, and then there's some places of pleasure as well. But you didn't ask about them, so.
What's the first of the inns that we come across?
The first one is the Drake's Wing.
I'd point that out.
Looks like there's an inn there.
I'm gonna
The Drake's Wing.
walk up next to Axel. Are we looking for anything in particular?
I guess we could stop by and gather information at the least.
Yeah, it seems like we could get lost in this place pretty easy. It's huge. We'll walk inside Drake's wing.
You walk in very nicely kept building, kind of like a dark oak type building. You walk in and immediately there's about 10 or 12 tables, all mostly full. People, bunch of gnomes and dwarves drinking heavily. And a individual serving them is a incredibly large minotaur woman, looks to be, that seems to be carrying around a barrel of ale and just pouring it into mugs as she walks by and collecting coin. She has kind of like a little coin purse hanging on one of her hips, and they put the coin in as she goes by, and she begins to fill up their mug. Jeez, I had a brain fart.
I'm gonna look at Axel. Is there anything in particular you want to try and find aside from, like, the third ring or anything like that?
Getting a rundown of the city would be good. From what I can gather, it looks like 95% of the first ring is commerce. So I'd like to know what the layout of all the other four are like.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I wonder if they have, like, a map.
I was thinking of asking the barkeep if they know where we could get one. I didn't see too many shops on the way.
I'll walk up to the barkeep. Pardon me. Pardonnez-moi.
Turns around as she's like serving a small gnome. Can I help you?
We're new to the city, and this place is spectacularly large. Do you happen to have maps here, or know where we can find one?
A map? Not so much here, but I can give you whatever information you need. Molten Hammer is quite easy to get around once you recognize the city. Basically a giant circle, you know.
Well, from what I understand, it's made up of multiple circles. Would you mind giving us a rundown of what each of them are and what's within them?
If you give me a moment, I have patrons to serve, and obviously my services don't come free.
Yeah, of course. We're happy to sit down and get a drink or something to eat and pay you for your services.
Give me 10 minutes and I will...
If she's not willing to talk to us, we might as well just go find a different inn for the night.
I just said I would talk to you, but I need a
Well,
moment
not.
to
You
serve my
said
patrons.
You said you need gold.
I never said gold. I said some form of payment. If you're going to buy something to drink and eat here, that would count as well.
No, okay.
Okay, thank you. She turns around and kind of like smirks at Sophia and just kind of gives her like a... And then begins like serving people, and you see her sit behind the bar, and she grabs a couple of big plates and she puts like 5 of them on her arm and like stacks them up the whole way, and begins to like walk to each table and like slides all 5 of the plates down and begins to serve like multiple tables at one time. After like 5 or 10 minutes, John, you take the rest of the tables. I'm taking my break now. And she sits down, sits back in the chair, leans way back, and you see her stretch her legs with the hooves and kind of rotates them. So, first of all, what would you like to drink and eat?
What's the special today?
Well, it's made to order, but we have whoops, sorry. We have a roasted. God damn! I gotta stop moving my notes. There it is. We have a roasted nagra. We have Urzad sandwiches, and if you're feeling a little spicy, we have Feldenus soup.
We'll take a little of each.
Oh, sounds good. Something to wash it down, or just water?
I guess a couple pitchers of your house ale.
Good choice. So that will run you sandwiches, a little food. That'll run you 20 silver.
I'll give her 30 silver.
She nods respectively, disappears, and like 3 minutes later comes back with a think like Subway, like a giant like foot-long sandwich, and like stuffed to the brim with vegetables and this like thick cut almost like roast beef looking meat, like prime rib type style, laid on this like Italian bread, white bread of sorts, with a bunch of other seasonings and some kind of like mayonnaise or ranch or like some kind of sauce laid on top of it. You see a soup brought out with a bunch of chunks of meat in it, with potatoes and some other vegetables. And then these thick slabs of meat that are cut almost like steak, that are made like, I would say like medium rare type style, and slapped down on the table.
Thank
And
you.
then you guys are poured these giant pints of beer and set down in front of you.
I'll serve myself a portion and take a couple sips of the beer. Well,
It's very good.
we thank you so much. We'd love to hear about what the layout of the city, if you don't mind giving us just kind of a general idea of each of the rings and how to
Well,
navigate them.
Of course, I mean, you could take the tram system. There's a steam tram that runs the circle every 20 minutes that has 4 stops on it, a north, south, east, and west stop. The first ring is primarily inns, bars, establishments, businesses, commerce. The lower or the upper ring is your residential and living areas. Usually it's separated into a east and a west. The east is more of the people like me. We live there, and then on the west side is the people with money. The larger buildings. It's kind of a gated off community. The lower ring is the high ends, the nobles, those that usually work either directly with royalty, own special lands here, mining facilities, mines, or have just a ton of money. They live down there. Usually to get to that, you have to have special permissions to ride the tram down, or the elevator systems. And then there's the primary. The primary ring is where the Scorched Castle is. That is the tip of Molten Hammer.
So if I understand, the upper ring is the second ring and is kind of the residential ring. The
Correct.
lower is the third ring and is where nobles per se might reside, and the is it also upper, the ring with the Scorched Castle, or this
Primary.
primary ring?
Yeah, the
is
primary ring is the Scorch Castle. That is the royalty that they live primarily on that. They say, I've never been, but they do say the primary ring has its own forest attached to the castle down there, and just royalty is allowed.
so the second ring goes up, then the next two are below.
But it's upper, or it's the first ring, upper ring, lower ring, and primary.
Oh, that's confusing.
Oh my god, it's like fucking the UK where they call like the fucking ground floor the first floor or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's the upper ring, but it's below us. God. Oh, okay. All right, I think I understand. So everything synchronizes downwards, and the further interior
Frosty
you
caught
go,
me.
the further interior you go, the, I guess, more restricted it gets.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this ring that we're on now is the first ring, and it is primarily market, commerce, inns, bars, market,
Correct.
and everything beyond that is residential or
Yes.
hierarchy of some form.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you. That's very helpful. Anybody have any questions I didn't cover?
Have you ever been to the third ring?
The lower ring? No. I don't make enough money for that. I've been to the upper ring. Obviously, I live there. I've been to the western side. I have a friend who owns 2 of the pleasure palaces here. And he makes a lot of money doing so and lives very well. But I've never been to the lower ring.
Or this Scorched Castle?
Never been to the Scorched Castle.
Hmm.
I've only lived here for 4 suns now. 5. Yeah, so 4 years. 4 turns of the sun.
Interesting. Well, thank you again for enlightening us. This seemed a little bit daunting, but now that we know our primary vacancy is going to be located just on this ring, it makes it a little easier to understand.
Of course. I mean, first time here in Molten Hammer, I assume.
Yes, and it is very overwhelming.
It's if you haven't noticed, it's very modernized. Everything is not modernized. It's very new. Everything is run on steam. They use the volcano and the lava to fuel everything. The trams, the train type systems that they have, they run all over the mountains.
Ooh, anything interesting to see outside the mountains via the trams?
Outside of the mountains?
Oh, well, you mentioned that the trams go outside. So I wasn't sure. Maybe they go somewhere interesting or something
outside the city, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could take you all the way out to the Himera Crests. As far as it goes, I don't know. People like to go north south, to the very far east. Adventurers, those, chasing a wild goose chase, and they're looking for this Everspring Grove that is supposed to be a timeless area, but nobody's ever truly found it. Some people do take trips down into Sargos. Some people have taken trips over to Alart, but not many. From what we've heard, several years back, communications was cut off from that town, so people don't go there as much as they used to anymore.
Didn't she notice, especially if she was looking at Nova, when she mentioned Everspring Grove, it's a wild goose chase and nobody's ever found it, you're gonna notice her eyes kind of flash and... Oh, what's this Everspring Grove you speak of?
They say a warrior encased in stone. It's like a love story. Warrior encased in stone guards a sleeping princess.
We've seen something similar to that, but it was a bear encased in what seemed like crystal. Is that what you're speaking of, or is this something else?
I couldn't tell you.
Princess. And where to the east is this?
To the east? Nobody truly knows. If I knew, I would go there and visit it myself. It sounds interesting.
Is it in the Shattered Vale?
Well, the Shattered Vale is to the west.
Oh shit, I have my map backwards. Hold on. Oh, I had my map upside down. It helped as soon as I scrolled over a city and I saw it was upside down. I was like, "Oh, this is wrong."
No,
that went
to
backwards.
the east.
Oh man. Okay, that changes everything. To the east. Interesting. I'll be deep in thought about that. Won't say anything.
What side of this ring are the majority of your smiths located at?
I mean, they're spread out all over. I mean, everybody's kind of spread out. You know, there might be a smith here, might be a smith there. There's really only 3 of them, though. Well, there's 2, as the one retired this year, which is kind of a bummer, because he was the best. But
There's only 3 on this entire ring.
Correct.
Could you give me the locations of each of them?
Well, the Black Ore, they're on the far east side of the ring. They're stationed next to, what was it? I believe it's one of the parks on the east side of the ring. It's pretty much right when you get off of the tram here. On the north side, you'll find Vivek's Blade. And they're a little kind of tucked in. You can't miss them. They have signs all over. They're very gaunty. And then, 4 months ago, the place I would have pointed you towards, which was the best, would be Beanworks. And they were actually about, I would say probably a 10-minute walk from here. They went out of business, though, or they closed shop after Vivek's Blade opened up. I would say probably about a month later. Nobody knows what happened. Everybody does really miss Harold. Harold Bean was his name. He was probably the best smith we've ever seen. Crafted some real amazing gear. But he just closed up shop.
Huh. And nobody knows why.
Nobody knows why. I'd love to know why. But, yeah. pretty shortly after Vivek's Blade opened up. I would say probably 2 months prior to that.
And what was his name?
Who's that?
The craftsman. He said is the best you've ever seen.
Bean works? That'd be Harold Bean. He's a cantankerous old dwarf. Doesn't really like anybody or anything. But he knows his way around a hammer.
Except his craft.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Do you have any bathhouses around here?
There's
some-
several.
Where's the
There's-
closest?
There's one down the road, about 500 to 600 feet. That's one of the bigger ones here. There's one on the north side. That one primarily caters strictly to dwarves because bathing with dwarves. Do I need to say more? And you see like the whole room kind of turn and they kind of give her like a look, and then they go back to drinking. But the one that's about 600 feet from here is one of the more ritzy bathhouses. This is actually run by elves. Very nicely upkept.
Does that mean it's more expensive then?
I wouldn't say horribly expensive, but reasonably priced.
I have a question. I noticed that most of the guards are wielding staves. Is magic common here? Or is there another use for these staves that the guards hold?
Stabs.
Many of the guards we saw as we entered.
You mean the
Staves.
rifles?
Staves is technically a correct plural form.
Well, I know. She was just confused by the statement.
Uh,
You mean their rifles?
Oh. What's a rifle?
Mm.
Well, they were wielding one. They had a shield in one hand and a staff in the other.
Did you get a close look at the shield? Well, they have a shield, and the shield sits like so. It has a groove in the very middle of the shield that they can set the staves. Those aren't staves. Think of it as a stick that fires continuously firebolt or a fireball in your general direction.
Sophia's eyes go wide.
so it spits fire?
Yes, in the dumbest down version. And makes a lot of boom booms continuously.
We've seen them before. You don't remember your friend Wiley's pistols?
Well, that's different.
Same
That didn't shoot fire.
mechanics that are going on, basically.
Don't they shoot
thought
some form of metal? They expel some
It's not
form,
the magic,
like
though.
metal ball.
It's like a machine, like the automatons we saw.
Yeah, there's a mechanism in there that fires a ball of metal.
It doesn't shoot metal. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know exactly how it works. You'll have to find somebody that... I know it's something that they... It's not allowed out of Molten Hammer.
Something you can only get here, huh?
Correct.
Mmm.
Almost want to see one in action. Though preferably not pointed at me.
I would probably go against that. But on the flip note, you probably won't see that, as most crime here is pretty non-existent. A lot of people who do commit crimes here are taken to the view.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah. So, I explained to you how Molten Hammer sits, correct? The rings?
Yes.
Towards the bottom of the rings, around the scorched earth ones, is where the view sits, on the east side of the castle.
Heinous.
All of the jail cells have no walls.
Then how are
So
they
we're-
cells?
Are we talking like the jail from Game of Thrones, where there's just a hole?
Oh
Veil.
shit.
I see.
People are
Out of
highly-
character, I understand.
Yeah, highly encouraged to escape.
Oh,
If you
sounds
escape,
like a challenge.
you are allowed to leave. If you fail, you don't live anymore.
So we
You-
don't
you
want
failed,
to see.
also
So we
leave.
don't want to see the view.
Probably not.
Got it.
Hold on, let me.
Doesn't sound like a nice view.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean, they say what happens is that if you escape the view and you don't escape, that what you are doing is you're not falling to your death in the lava below, but you are falling to become food for Daylon.
What now?
Daylon is supposedly the ancient red dragon that sleeps in the lava below Molten Hammer.
Oh, well, that's just
How do you
lovely.
spell that?
Daylon, Daelon. I'm slowly moving my notes all into its proper places.
I'm gonna lean back in my chair and put my hands behind my head. Well, I know what I'm doing right after this. Anybody else need to find something?
Yeah, they say tremors here that happen when we have small tremors is Daylon snoring.
What y'all have any kind of sports or competitions that go on here?
Yeah, we
In
have
the city?
sports.
What's the sitch on that?
We have Rugen.
Oh, that sounds fun. What is that?
Think of it like you get a ball, a spiked ball, and your goal is to throw it through a hoop on the other side. And you have to get through the other team to do so. The first one to 5 goals wins.
Are there any matches coming up?
There's one going on right now.
Like, already happening?
Yeah.
Damn, probably can't get tickets then.
You just have to pay to get in and they let you watch.
That sounds
fun.
fun. Yeah, where's that at? Where's the
If you
the
exit
venue?
here and you go around the circle, it is on the north side of the circle and you can't miss it. The field kind of juts out into the center of the circle, overlooking the lava.
All right.
Do you want to go see it?
I don't know. I could probably use a wash first. Get all this sand off.
Oh, Dave looked way worse.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it can wait. Yeah, I kind of want to see that. Sounds fun.
I'll get up from the table and start heading toward the door.
Okay.
And see if Patience is following.
Oh,
Do you have rooms available here as well?
We do have rooms, yes.
Excellent. You've been very helpful. We plan on definitely staying here, most likely.
Perfect. I am Wela.
Wayla, you have been incredibly helpful. Thank you for sharing all this information.
You are most welcome. And welcome to Molten Hammer.
I'll smile and slide her a gold piece.
Eh. She leans in really, really close to you. Your friend, he asked about the blacksmiths. If you go there, be on guard. But Vivek's blade, the new one that started, there's rumors about them, and just be careful. Also,
I'll take heed, thank you.
if you leave the city, since you are new here, just food for thought if you decide to check out the Himira crests. Each one of the trams is 1 silver. Within the city, you can travel. Sorry, out of character. You can travel in the city. You can take these little trams to go from the first ring to the second ring and back, and or travel around in circles for 1 silver a
Okay.
person.
Okay.
And then obviously prices differ when you start to like take them out of the city and then out into like the mountains. If you decide to leave and explore the Hilmira crests, be warned, take a guide, preferably, unless you are very capable. But the Feldenust, they are the goats that we use here. They are very sturdy, they are strong. Obviously, as you can see, they're made for both burden, food, and war. But know 3 things. The Shurg. They are giant wolf-like creatures that hunt Feldenust and hunt the dwarf creatures around here. They are extremely stealthy, and they hunt in packs. The Urzad are giant cave bears of sorts. They are extremely dangerous and have been known to kill 10 or 15 dwarfs on their own. The Nagra are giant boars of this region. They are extreme delicacies, and they to take down a Nagra on their own is considered a great honor, and a great present. Same as a Urzad. To kill an Urzad is considered a high honor among people here. You will notice when you are walking on nobles, higher ranking nobles, or nobles in general, on their armor, if they have a symbol of the bear or a symbol of the wolf, they have slain that creature on their own, and they are considered highly honorable individuals.
Interesting. So these are creatures we should look out for if we were
Yes,
to
they're
venture outside.
Extremely dangerous. Your Nagra is probably the size of. She looks over at one of the Feldenus, which is about. It's like standing. It's like a horse. It would be about the same height. The same height as Axel. So you'd have to crawl up on one. And she explains that the Urzad is like 3 times the size of that, and a Nagra is about half the size of the bear, and the Shurg is about a little bit smaller than the Ferdenost or the Feldenost.
The Feldenos are the
The goats.
goat boar things, whatever.
Correct. They're goats. The boars are the Nagra.
Right, I meant like the creatures that they have around here.
Yes. And you notice as you kind of like look around, the Feldenust are used for like everything. They're being used for war mounts, they're being used as beasts of burden, and as you just tasted, they're being also used for meat.
Thank you for sharing.
You're most
I
welcome.
appreciate the warnings.
And if you are looking for companionship, she looks over at she looks over at Axel, unless he, he's single. There's 2 pleasure houses. Let them know Wayla sent you, as I get a little bit of a kickback. But the Bearded Pleasure and Sprite's Pleasure.
You don't say. I'm gonna like smirk at Axel since she looked at him.
I have only seen one of his kind.
Yeah,
And he
you definitely
lives
don't
here.
see many.
But he came here a long time ago, and he kind of keeps to himself.
Oh, you have a knoll here?
We do. He does not really talk to anybody.
Oh, where is he?
He would be in the training grounds.
Is that here on
Usually
the first ring?
Yes. It's where the blacksmiths go to break in all their weapons.
Do you know his name?
Whoa, what was that?
Do you know his name?
Yes. They call him... they call him the Sand Scorpion. Praxin.
Oh, what was the name, Ginge?
Praxin. Traxin.
Okay. So, pleasure houses. You got a knoll at the training ground. Got it.
Yeah,
And to be wary of the blacksmith.
just... I have heard things. Just, be careful.
Noted. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Enjoy, and you said you wanted rooms. How many rooms?
Oh, I thought you guys left. Didn't
Yeah,
you
we
and Sophia
left.
left? Yeah, this
Ye-
was
yeah.
this was after I like slid her a gold. She like leaned in and was giving me extra
Yeah.
information.
Right.
So you're
would say-
none the wiser.
How many people in your group need rooms?
How much are your rooms?
Your first 3 nights are for free. You slid a gold, and I greatly appreciate your business.
Oh well, I appreciate the hospitality. I suppose we would just need the 3.
The 3? She stands up, walks away, comes back like 3 minutes later with 3 like bronze keys, and slides them across the table to you, and each one of them has a number on them.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. After the 3rd nights, we can talk again.
Of course.
Much appreciated. If you have any questions, please feel free to come to Wela.
I will do. I'll stand up and extend my hand to her.
And you hear behind her, "Ugh, We all come to Wela when you want a little action. And she goes, one moment. And she turns around and, like, one-handed grabs him by the face and, like, lifts this dwarf about a foot in the air. What did you say? I didn't think so. And, like, sets him back in the table. Turns back around. You guys have a wonderful evening.
I'll still extend my hand to her to shake it.
She reaches out and her hand grabs your hand and overlaps the entirety of your hand
my
and
God.
like shakes it. And it's you watch as she shakes and all of the veins, like she's very vascular, like pop on her arm and forearms, and she like shakes like and just smiles. But it's gentle. It's very firm but very gentle.
I'll smile and nod at her. And look at Axel. Is KB still with us too?
Don't know. He just got back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand KB his key. I know that you tend to sleep in the bar stools and under the benches, but you have your own room.
Options are nice. Thank you.
Yes. And I'll put 2 of the keys in my pack since Patience and Sophia left. Well, I need a bath. It's been a while. Anybody want to join me? Or I can head there and meet up with you guys later too.
Do we know where Sophia and Patience were going?
Yeah. So they were going to see on the north side. There's
To the fields, right?
Yeah, there's like a game, one of those games going
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably try to catch up with them.
on. Actually, I'm gonna go back to Wayla really quick, and I'm gonna hand her one of the keys. Wayla, I apologize. 2 of our party members departed, and just in case they come back, I don't want them to worry about a room. If you see the blue lady from earlier and the woman with the red hair with her, if you could kindly provide this key to them.
Of course, I will keep an eye out for them.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Hey, Wayla! What time are you getting off work? Jonathan, I have told. She turns around, you can hear her like stomping off.
All right, so I'm gonna look at KB and Axel again. What are y'all's plans?
I'll probably see if I can catch up with Sophia and Patience.
Okay. Well, we'll plan on staying here, so whenever you're all squared away, we can always meet up back here.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan.
Well, it sounds like the game already started, so you're gonna have to run double
Yeah,
time.
Patience now would be booking to catch up. Catch
Yeah.
the game before it's over.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't really care about sport. I just want to see
So,
want to
are
see
you
some of the
guys?
city on my way.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna try and take the tram to the north then?
Oh yeah. Get there
Yeah,
quicker.
if we see
One-
the station, there's like a train there. Kind of, we'll hop on. Yeah.
Yep, one silver.
Easy.
And you see people loading in, and then on the top in in Dwarvish and in Common, and then you see like multiple other languages as well. It tells you like what station it's going to next, which is the North Station.
Perfect.
But it takes off. Anybody else doing anything in the meantime?
I'm gonna go to the bathhouse, but I think it was just me and Axel left.
Yeah, it's only like a 10-minute walk from where you are now.
Axel, did you want to go to the bathhouse as well, or do you want to meet back up?
Of course, I'm going with you.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's pretty close. So then we'll head to the bathhouse.
So 2 things happening at one time.
You can do them first, since they've
okay,
been waiting
well,
a little bit.
You arrive at the bathhouse. It costs about 2 silver to bathe. As you enter, it is gorgeous. Everything is marble and almost this like black stone intertwined in one another, almost like when you go to a barber shop and they have like the red and white. It has this like black and white marble, almost like intricated into everything. There's 2 separate changing rooms. There's a male and a female. As you change and you enter into this other room, immediately the moment you walk in, it is heated with lava, so the room is very warm, and the water is like perfectly, like, not scalding hot, but like above average warm as you kind of like sink yourself into the water. It is a public bathing house, so like you rinse off in separate rooms and like clean yourself, and then you soak in one big tub together.
I would explain to the whoever's taking our money that I'm not here to bathe. I'm just accompanying her.
They'd be really, really confused and almost not let you in.
That's fine. I'd be like, if I could fucking wait outside if need be.
Yeah, they're like really like set aside the fact that you're not going in to bathe, and they're like, no. So Nova, you're the only one going in then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be quick.
You walk in.
I would tell Axel I'll be quick.
Roll a con save.
Oh.
Not in a bad way.
Con save.
Okay. You're in there for a little while, longer than you anticipate. As you sink into the water, it feels real good. The water is scented with like mint leaves and like some other kind of salts. This is very, for 2 silver, it is very high end like washing. But in the meantime, the tram takes you to the north, where you guys get dropped off. Now, KB, you're walking it, you're hoofing it, right?
Well, I think I'm gonna be the last to leave the place we were in, and I want to kind of conspicuously ask Wayla just 2 things. One, how long would it take to walk to the north end? And 2, just if she's seen any other goblins around, or if there was a part of town where they, if there is a contingency of them here, where would they likely be?
Well, goblins, not really a hot commodity here, as goblins and dwarves, gnomes don't really get along. There are some here. They
Goblins in the hole.
hang out. They
Goblins
hang
in the
out
hole.
kind of sporadically. There are some around. To get to the north side, 45 minutes, roughly.
Okay,
It's a good trek.
it's doable.
Yeah, it's very doable.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. You have a great day.
Yeah, and I think I would probably walk if that's the case.
Okay, just start walking. So about
I'm
5.
hoping to get there maybe as it ends, right? Again, because I don't care to see it.
Yeah.
I'll walk there, see what I see on the way, and then maybe catch up with Patience and Sophia after it's done.
So while the bath is happening, about 5 minutes later, you guys do arrive at the North Station. And you do exit.
Would we get a sense of like how far we traveled? Say we wanted to like walk back. Do we have a guess on how long? How fast was this thing?
It was hauling ass.
Okay.
Think of it like a bullet train.
Okay.
Like it shot out to the next location.
Yep.
So you feel like you went a decent ways, but you're not entirely sure how
Okay.
and how fast you went. You just know you went really fucking fast.
Yep.
But as you get out, you do hear like the whooping and carrying on of like some kind of sport happening, and you hear people cheering. And like some of the people exit and they kind of start heading in that direction. Other people head off and start, you know, meandering through the inns and towns and whatnot, and the carts being, things being sold.
Yeah, I'll head to that cheering.
You go as well, Patience?
Yep.
Okay. It'll take you about 5 minutes. And you arrive, and it's kind of like a stadium. Like think like an outdoor stadium that curves down into a field. And you can kind of barely see over the top like what's going on, but you don't see as much as you would hope to. And then there's a individual standing by like a gate / doorway holding like a pouch, and he's holding some kind of tickets.
Hey, how much to get in to see the game?
50 copper.
50 copper? All right.
50 copper.
All right. Yeah. That's what? I'm silver here. 50 copper. Here, I'll give him a gold for 2 tickets.
Jesus, all right.
Well, because
Fuck.
50 copper would be 5 silver each.
Yeah.
So 10 silver would be for 2 tickets, and that's a gold.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So you hand it to him. Oh, well, come on in. He hands you both the tickets. Enjoy Darugan.
Thanks.
You guys walk in and immediately hear, ah, and you walk in just as you watch these 2 teams of dwarves. One's red, one's blue. Like their armor's like colored. And they're heavily timeout, bathroom break.
Uh-oh.
Child aggro.
Child aggro.
Open the door, Dad. Dad, open the door. Oh, Dad.
10 dwarfs on the field sounds like the beginning of a very racist joke.
Oh no.
Or at least offensive.
Better not let the dwarves hear you say that. Okay. Cue the Monty Python intermission music.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How do I play something with this thing? What? Oh, gotcha. Oh, DK music stands for Dungeon Crawlers. Ah, I see. Yes. Well, thanks for your work on that.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we had playlists, right? So I guess if we want to go back to that, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm back. Got a little boy that's not feeling the hottest.
Man, we do too. We might have COVID in our house.
Yeah,
Again?
we're
Oh,
wondering if
no.
that's what it is
We
here
just
too.
got over COVID round 2 in our house.
Yeah, we're all fucking beat to shit and tired. And he's got a
Yeah.
croup and a cough and he's just drained.
Oof.
Yeah.
Poor
That's
little
what
guy.
mine's gotten. We got a letter today saying their school had a case at the school, so I'm wondering if that's what he's got.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where did I leave off? You come over the or is everybody here?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Top comment on the intermission music video for Money Pathanassist. We apologize for the dislikes. Those who pressed the dislike button have been sacked.
But you come over the top into a stadium, and you're looking down at the stadium, and you see the team of blue and a team of red, and they're in this like heavy armor with like spikes on the shoulders, and they're carrying this ball that has spikes on it as well, and it is a what's the best way to describe this? I'm trying to think of the game's name. Remember NFL Blitz?
It's
Like,
like, is this like
Yeah.
Blood Bowl?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking Blood
It's-
Bowl.
It's
Blood Bowl.
very much like you watch as like one of the dwarf guys grabs this ball and he takes off running, and his team's kind of like blocking, and they're not just blocking, they're full blown clotheslining each other, taking each other out at the knees, and he's running, and he goes to throw the ball, and one of the other members steps in front of him as he throws it and catches the spiked ball to the face, and you see like a trail of blood like splosh off into a direction, and he picks the ball back up and takes off running, and at the same time another dwarf comes from the side and just fully slams him into the side of the wall. The ball drops, this guy picks it up, takes off running in the opposite direction, and as he gets clotheslined, he tosses the ball and it hits this kind of like a ring about yay big, like a basketball hoop, and it goes through, and like sparks shoot out of one of the little holes, and you see the score go up 2-0.
Are the people around us cheering when that happens?
Oh yeah, they're just like, oh
I would join in.
Yeah.
yeah. It's very loud, like think like UFC loud, like everybody's just screaming and hollering, and like you can see people betting.
World Cup soccer loud. They've got the vuvuzelas.
Yeah. But people are making noise, people are stomping their feet, you're watching people like cheer and place bets, and yeah.
Ooh, betting.
So, KB, you begin to walk down the streets. Anything in particular that you're looking for?
No, I don't think so. I'm just kind of taking in the sights as I go.
Okay.
If I see like, I wouldn't expect to see other goblins here, but if I do, I would kind of just try to make note of which way they were going or where it looks like they might be headed. Apart from that, no, not really.
Okay. No, I wouldn't say you see any goblins. After about 30 minutes, you do see kind of like a temple. With a giant individual holding like an axe kind of across his chest. And then below that is a giant sand pit, and you do see some individuals that are training with weapons. And you see like new weapons being handed to certain these new weapons being handed to people, and they're testing them against dummies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably fight the urge to engage with them and just keep going.
Yep. As you walk by, you do notice a kind of thin, scrawnied, like white gnoll sitting cross-legged, faced away from the group. Seems to be praying or something to a giant statue of sorts.
Oh shit. Okay.
As the rest of everybody around him is like training and doing certain things.
Okay. I will go up and just sit in front of the statue and act like I'm praying to the statue also.
So you go towards the temple,
Yeah.
and okay, and you jump down into the sand pit. It's like I would say from
How
the
far
top
is
of
it?
the lip to the bottom of the lip, this like sand pit where people are training is like 3 feet. Like it's a decent
And
little hop down.
and that's where the statue is?
Yes.
Is there like a border, like a sidewalk on the sides of it, or no?
I mean it's like a horseshoe that goes around. And then there's like
Yeah.
on the far side there's stairs that go down, but yeah, there's
Yeah, I don't want to get in the sand because I'm assuming someone will attack me with a weapon. They will think that I'm part of the training.
this individual
So
is sitting in the sand, like in the middle of the sands, like facing this statue.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'll stay up on the higher part, and just sit and I guess wait to see what he's doing. I'll kind of just sit and watch, see what happens.
He just is sitting there, cross-legged, crisscross applesauce.
And they're training around him, but nobody's interacting with him.
Nobody's fucking with him. They're all probably a solid like 50 feet away from him on all sides, and he's just sitting there, crisscross applesauce, like staring at the statue.
Do I know what the statue is?
Roll a religion check.
Like if he asks, I'm gonna want to know. What's religion? Wisdom, probably.
I think it's intelligence, isn't it?
Okay.
So that's a learned skill.
12. Not great.
Um. Would you? I guess my question would be, because you are a learned individual.
Sure.
Would KB have had interest in religion at any point?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
You wouldn't be familiar with the individual, but you do recognize the shape per se. As far as you can tell from the statue, it looks to be that of Grom.
Isn't Grom the like the dwarven forge god? Am I
He's known as
remembering that right?
he has many names.
Okay. I guess I will go down, and the statue is like wouldn't be in the sand, but maybe by the edge of the sand. Like if I wanted to get close to the statue, I'd have to go in the sand, right?
Kind of, yeah. You'd have to go in the stand to get close to him in the statue. I wouldn't say it's like horribly that far into the statue, but it's at the far end of everything, and I would say it's like 5 or 6 feet off of the edge of the sand. Like it's a statue of an individual, And he seems to be holding a chisel in one arm or one hand, and then like a giant axe in the other, like across his chest, and he kind of holds it like so.
Okay. There's no signs that say like don't enter.
No.
All right. Then I'll drop down and make my way towards it.
Okay.
And I think I will just get close to the statue and just kind of take a look at it. I don't want to touch it, but just
The statue itself.
yeah, like you would do at a museum, right?
Okay. It's very intricately done and put together. Yeah, and he just continues to sit there. As you get kind of close and you look at him, his eyes are closed, and he kind of just seems to be like, with his arms crossed, legs crossed, and his arms crossed, and he's just sitting there.
Okay.
Doing anything?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna. It's clear to me that he's like sitting. You know what? I'll go and sit next to him. Not super close, like we're together, but just like I'm just gonna emulate what he's doing.
Okay. You sit down next to this individual, and as you get close, very well kept. A lot of his longer hair has been braided and woven very tight. Like his back mane has been like woven and like beaded and like woven really really tight to him. He is very lean, but like muscular lean. And as you sit down, he kind of like out of the corner of his eyes, he doesn't look at you, he doesn't move, but he just raises his right eyebrow.
I'll just take out my like a notebook or a journal that I have, and I'll just like write descriptions of him, so I don't remember when I see Axel. I can just go give it to him.
Is there something that you wish, small goblin?
No, just take him in the sights.
The sights. And by sights, do you mean the statue here, or my figure that you write down?
Well, I guess I meant both.
I see. So, do I intrigue you?
KB Myron.
Yeah, I guess you do. I've been traveling with one of your kind, for
I
a
know.
little while, and I
Hold on again.
I-
Sorry, guys.
yeah.
He knows. He's seen us. We gotta kill him. He's seen us. No witnesses.
Alright, sorry. Alright, where were we?
You KB
Whatever.
Myron the Knoll. Yeah.
Yeah, I said I was traveling with the Knoll, and he said, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just was curious if you two knew each other, but I didn't want to disturb you, so I just was gonna get a description and ask him later, but obviously that didn't work.
Well,
And it
no.
sounds like you do know each other. And
Do all gnolls know each other?
of course not. Of course not. It's...
Mm. No, I just sensed him.
Yeah. How was and what what was the sense that you got?
That he's here?
Oh, I see. You know, I have some conflicting senses about him too.
He's not feeling the hottest.
Oh. I just noticed that our introduction to Rothos thing hasn't changed at all on the Twitch. It's still talking about the continent of Rothos and not Radar. Maybe we'll have to...
Oh, you mean Rothos campaign 2?
No, I'm talking about the on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm on
Like,
Twitch.
Under about like the introduction to Rothos.
Oh, yeah.
The
I
whole
keep forgetting
thing.
about that.
I suppose that's a off time thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you'll have plenty of time while I'm out of the country.
Alright.
True.
Plenty of time for what?
I need to update the Twitch bio because it still talks about the original Rothos campaign.
Yeah, I know, I gotta do that too. I noticed that the other day.
Oh, jeez. So
But
KB asks, what sense did you get about him?
Yeah. That he's here.
Oh, yeah. I thought you might, might have gotten more. I thought maybe you could enlighten me, I guess.
No. The Stone Father tells me.
Which is the one up here, yeah?
Yes. Grom. The Earth Father. The Maker. The Stone Shaper. He tells me.
just so that I understand, when he tells you, do you mean that, in a literal sense, the statue speaks to you, or like he tells you in like in your spirit?
He tells me.
And he kind of lets out this like big, toothy grin, like some of the teeth are kind of like broken off, and then he's missing like others in certain places.
Tells you. Okay. Okay. Well, maybe I'll be seeing you around, I guess.
We will see you soon.
Who's we?
He just goes back to sitting in front of the statue, quietly.
Is there something I can do for you since I disturbed you?
No.
Yeah, you can just fuck off, KB.
Okay. And I'll leave, and then I'll say telepathically on my way out, just to him. I'll just say, we'll see you soon.
Okay.
He answers back out loud.
All right. I guess keep heading the way I was going.
Several moments pass by though, and you
debate
do.
in my mind whether I tell Axel later or not.
Okay. Several moments do pass by though, and you do end up getting up out of the bath sauna type deal and meet back up with Axel. Very relaxed. Definitely spent longer than you should have.
I'll like walk out, arms above my head, stretching. Very like contented smile on my face as I look at Axel. Oh, I needed that.
I'm glad you feel better.
Yeah, all that traveling. It's good to slough it all off. Kind of reset. Thank you for waiting.
Of course.
Well, should we go look for the blacksmith next?
If that's what you want to do.
Well, you seemed interested to find their locations. Is there something you need from them?
Of course I'm interested in checking them out. I mean, the Farkum royal family is at the forefront of innovation when it comes to mining and metallurgy. Any bladesman worth his steel would want to check out everything that he can around here.
Well, let's do it.
But at the same time, if there's something that you need to do, we should go do that first. I mean, keeping you safe supersedes any of my personal desires.
I think I'm relatively safe here. I think the only thing that I really wanted to do or needed to do was this. So, I'm okay now. I'd be happy to go to the blacksmith. Do we want to go to the one to the west? I know that oh my goodness, her name was right here. Wayla. No, Wayla mentioned that we should be careful about the one to the north. Do you want to check that one first and then we'll just be careful, or should we start at the one in the west?
Say probably start at the one that's closest to us and work our way down.
Ginge, would the western one be closer or the northern one?
Western.
Okay.
You guys are like 5 minutes from it, if that.
Oh dang.
Yep. You guys had already walked a decent distance to get to the bathhouse, and she said it was already close by.
Sweet. All right, let's go check that one out then, and depending on how much time we have, we'll go check out the north one. I'll start walking towards the western side that she had detailed out to us.
By many. One big thing that you guys all notice here now as you guys are kind of walking and checking things out. It's not open to the sun. As you guys walk in, the outside of the walls are almost like glass. Like you can see out, but it's not actually open to the outside.
Ooh.
Another thing, the sunlight is let in via slats. So
Interesting.
I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit, but as night comes, those slats are pulled back up to simulate nighttime, darkness, which I'll explain.
Oh.
But right now everything is open so it's daytime. You guys walk 3 to 4 minutes, and you do come across the blacksmith, the beanworks.
I thought Beanworks was shut down.
Yep.
This motherfucker eating beans.
Oh.
What the fuck?
So it was shut down, but it's still there?
The building is still there. It still says Beanworks, but it's not open.
Oh, I'm gonna try and look inside.
Okay. A lot of things are still there. There's nothing on the actual like shelves for like any of the weapons, armor pieces, anything like that. There's nothing on the actual shelves. But you can see in and you see like, pretty much everything looks to be like a drape thrown over everything. Nothing's been dusted in a while type stuff.
I'll frown. That's too bad. Sounds like they were really good at what they did. It's unfortunate they got shut down.
And it is a larger building, too, FYI.
Be interested to
I'm
find out
curious.
what the northern Ginger, what the north blacksmiths, what were they called again?
Vivex Blade. Yeah.
Videx Blade. Okay, I didn't have that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious to find out why this guy got shut down, and given that the tavern lady said to be suspicious of the guys that opened up shortly before, makes me suspect foul play.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to find out what happened or what they're about.
I'm gonna like knock on the door pretty heavily, like ball my fist and go like,
Nothing. Do it again. Nothing.
suppose we can come back later.
They may not be back. I wonder... So the Harold Bean, the one that owned this place, he still lives here. It'd be interesting to speak with him too. Maybe he could shed some light on what happened. Sounds like he's really good at what he does, so maybe a good friend to have.
I think so too.
I'll keep walking.
Okay. Where are you guys walking to?
The other blacksmith?
Okay, so to the north. So that's about.
Okay, hold on. So
45 minutes.
I was confused. So I thought there were 3 blacksmiths. Beanworks got closed down, so there's 2. So I thought the 2 left were the one on the west and the one in the north.
Yes.
I thought we just walked to the west one.
You were to the east one.
Ah, you said
That
it was
was
like
the-
10
that
minutes
was the-
away.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the one next to the bathhouse.
Oh, damn it. So that was Beanworks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The one to the west is the black ore. I think is what it was. And
Mhm.
then the one to the north was the Vivix blade.
Okay. Then we're gonna hail a tram and pay
Okay.
the silver each and go
Okay.
to the west.
So you have to backtrack a little bit to catch the tram and head north. But easily done. Plenty of room as you jump on and shimmy out. about 5-ish minutes later, and it is extremely fast. Like, you're hauling ass through town. One big thing you notice as you pass, there's a million shops of like everything, clothing, of like all different types, sizes, flavors. There's a couple of magic shops. There's general stores galore. You see a bunch more bars. You see some more inns. You see like stalls all over the place. And then you just see like games, like where people are betting and playing like games. And then you arrive at your location.
Okay. I would start making my way towards either blacksmith.
Towards blacksmith. Okay. So to your immediate right, as you get off of the tram, back a little ways, you see a giant statue, almost temple-esque type-ish. To your left, down the way, you see a larger building that has 2 swords crossed and an anvil below. And that is the Vivek's Blade. And then directly to the right of it, a clothing store, and directly to the left of it, a general store.
No, Ginge, we went to the one in the west, not the north.
You went all the way around to the west?
Yes.
Okay,
We were going to west first, and then we were going to the Vivek's Blade last.
got it. So that one takes like 10-ish minutes, 15 minutes, because you gotta do a huge circle all the way around. And as you get off, that one you have to ask for directions. It takes you several moments to get kind of the directions to it. But it's down the path a little more. Like, you know, when you get off the tram, you get out and you take a left. And as you take a left, you continue on down the tram line a ways, and there's I wouldn't say this is like the older part of town, but it's kind of one of those, like, maybe this was the part of the circle that was made first and people settled in first, because it's like a little more run down. Buildings are a little more like, you know, not painted, upkept type stuff. But you do notice kind of a medium to small type blacksmith area, with a piece of ore, like a black charcoal piece of ore on a sign, and a smithing hammer below it.
Perfect. I'm gonna walk up and just kind of casually like look at everything that they have sitting out.
There's like several short swords, a couple long swords, a couple axes, some shields, some basic armor. And then you see kind of like off to the side, there's like two carts, and you see an individual in the back, a very heavy set orc individual with 2 large tusks. One of them is kind of chipped and hanging off to the side. Going back and forth, he looks to be fixing like an axle on the wheel of the cart.
I'm not gonna interrupt him. I'm probably just gonna like maybe one of the swords that were sitting out. I'm gonna run my finger along it just to kind of not the edge, but just like along the metal to feel how smooth and well crafted it might be.
It's a sword.
I'm just being casual.
Yep, use a sword. Now Axel, we did talk, and I need to look back on the thing that you sent me. Okay. So, for you, this store takes on a different meaning. You walk into the store, and it's a mediocre store at best. You begin to kind of look, and you see what he's doing. He seems to be fixing the axle on something. And you see Nova kind of running her fingers along the swords. You've got a little bit more experience with these. And you kind of run your finger along the blade as well, but you do it on the sharp side. And you don't run it down the blade, you know, you're kind of like flicking the edge to see the sharpness. You see battle ready, blunt ready, like whatever you're looking for. Slash, you know, how well they're made. these are basic to mediocre at best. They're functional. Every one of these is functional, but nothing special about any of it. There's a couple of +1 swords in there. There's a couple of other there's a couple of items in there that are like decent. There's like a half plate of poison resistance. There's just like basic half plate chainmail, couple shields, one short sword for +1. But everything is very, very, very basic. Nothing in there is making you jump with elation out of your shoes, nor does it scream Master Blacksmith.
Hmm.
As the individual in the back continues to cling, cling, and you just hear the work of iron being bent in the back and shaped.
I would probably take a pretty extensive look at pretty much everything they have, see if I can maybe try and spot a few diamonds in the rough, as it were.
Exactly as I just told you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's very just kind of meh. Maybe like what a first time adventurer would come into to buy and set out.
I'm gonna mind link with Axel. See anything that jumps out at you?
Nothing really. I mean, everything here is serviceable, but I wouldn't say special.
Well, we always have another place to check. Sounds like that awful Vivix Blade place is probably runs the show.
Yeah. Speaking of, and I'm gonna approach the orc.
Okay. Turns around and kind of starts wiping off his hands.
Yeah, I just had a few questions.
Yeah, of course. Dude.
I was wondering if you know anything about what happened to old Harold over at Beanworks.
Kind of turns his head.
I don't know anything. Nothing at all.
I'm
Can I
gonna.
insight that?
Yeah.
I'm
you
also
want to.
gonna be doing a detect thoughts.
Ugh, 7.
7. Okay. Hard read. The soot on his face and the glance of the fire. It's just kind of a hard read. In your mind, you just hear top thoughts. Nope. Nope. Got work to do. Nope.
All right.
Huh. Well,
Poor thing he closed down, but nope.
yeah. So I heard, if I recall, just from gossip, I heard that 2 months before the place closed down, this Vivek guy moved in, opened up.
Yeah. Mass produced. Makes too much to keep up with. I make a living, it's all that matters.
I see. So you're saying old Harold was driven out by a much faster producer?
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Detecting thoughts again.
Nope. Mm-mm. Got work.
God damn it. I'm gonna kind of grumble.
Oh,
We don't need anything else. I got a card I gotta get fixed.
one more thing.
Yeah.
Unrelated to all the previous stuff. Do you guys have any museums of that celebrate like your military or your weaponry and all that?
No. We have a research facility.
Where would that be?
I think that's on the first primary.
The primary ring where the castle is?
Yeah, I think so.
Can't get there unless you're royalty. Alright, well, thanks anyway.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna walk past Axel and walk up to the orc.
Oh.
Kinda lean in a little bit. Look. I know you make your living. And you don't want any trouble. But if there's something going on with that Vivek's Blade place, we'd like to help. We definitely don't want you to be put out of business by somebody not as skilled as yourself.
Have a nice day, ma'am. I got work to do.
I'm gonna grunt and just turn and storm out.
I'll follow her.
You hear the anvil crash again as the work continues to be done again.
I'm gonna like mutter under my breath after I leave. I'm gonna mutter under my breath. God, couldn't get anything out of that guy.
Yeah, he seemed pretty tight-lipped about everything.
Closed book. I couldn't even get anything off the top of his head. I don't know.
Guess the only way to find out information is to go right to the source.
Yeah, but why would they say anything? Especially if they're doing something shady. If it's just a difference of, mass production, that's one thing. But if there's something going on, they're not likely going to just share that. I'll see if I can get anything out of them, but if they're as closed as that guy, I'm not going to be lucky at all with that. I guess we'll see.
Right.
Damn. These muff tight lip.
Right, they tight-lipping. Open your
Open your mind.
open your mind. I'm gonna head back towards the tram to head to the north.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So as you begin to get onto the tram, and KB kind of walks away with his conversation with the gnoll, and the violent game of Drugan is played, that's where we'll end our night tonight. Yes, I have a
Woo, go blue
that's come in, like
team!
5
Yeah.
times.
Child aggro. Fair.
Yeah. So.
Alright,
Thank you all for coming.
wait,
Kick
so
their asses.
Strat, are you gonna be here next week? I can't remember.
Yes. I will be leaving the following day.
Yep, but I think Diablo won't be here though.
I will not be here next
Oh,
week.
damn.
Yeah, I think next week is what starts the.
The off for a couple weeks.
Yep. So.
Yes, I will not be back until the 21st
21st.
of
Okay,
August.
so the end of August we will be back on, unless I
Oof.
can come up with some one shots.
Oof.
One shots would be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will try and throw something together.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yes.
Alright, thanks for hanging out, stream. We appreciate you chilling with us with this little adventure inside Molten Hammer. We will maybe see you next week for a one-shot. Anyway, have a great weekend. Be safe, be kind, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
Have a wonderful night.
Later, y'all.